up, everybody? What is going on here? Welcome to another great episode of the JCA Sports Podcast. Here, brought to you by the Star Six Media. I'm Eric Avila. That's Jose Contreras. We're the JCA Sports
What
Podcast
it
here.
do,
Guys, make sure you
baby?
follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, MySpace, Tag. All the social media platforms out there for you guys. Hell, I think we even have a Tinder for John out there somewhere. But make sure you guys follow us on there too as well, as we provide you with all the greatest sports topics that we have for the week. Jose, what's up, buddy, man? How are you?
How can you forget OnlyFans? We got OnlyFans
Ooh,
too.
OnlyFans. I can sell my feet. I got really cute feet for a guy.
And I got really ugly feet for a guy. For those who are into that, we cater to all different types of fetishes here. Okay,
we need income, man. Yeah, hey, whatever it takes, whatever it gets. How are you, man? How's everything going?
good, bro. Good. Just here, man. Ready for another show.
Hell yeah, and that's right. We're ready for another show here for you guys. Guys, as always, make sure you guys hit the like button, share, hit the little bell to get notified when all our live episodes, not just ours, the JCA Sports Podcast, but the EAFP Podcast, Only Football, and all the other programs that we have under the Star Six Media brand. Let's get it started. Let's get it going, Jose. Yesterday, Team USA, heartbreaking loss yesterday to Japan, 3-2, losing to them in the WBC championship game. Let me start with this. Were you invested in this tournament from the beginning, or you just caught the tail end of it?
I was definitely a lot more intrigued and a lot more into it than I was normal baseball. I guess if that makes sense. I was invested. I was invested from the beginning. I didn't watch every single game like I wanted to because of work and because of other responsibilities. But whenever I could, I did watch, and it was more so the last, I guess, like the elimination games were the ones that I was able to catch on TV, and those were great, man. 100% amazing.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. Um, well, and it started off that way too, right? I mean, I probably caught, I think yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think a little bit of the Mexico game too prior to that one as well. It was probably the most that I actually invested time into watching this, but I seen the highlights, or I saw the highlights on, social media, obviously on the Four Letter Network on TV in the mornings and whatnot, and all the other sports programs that are on TV. And it looked pretty hype, it looked pretty fun. It looked pretty interested. It looked like it just looked like it was fun watching baseball. And again, I had no rooting interest. I was just, in and out watching it. I kept up with it. I'm not gonna lie, I did keep up with it. But it looked like it's the way baseball should be looked like, right? Fun, exciting. Everybody stays for all 9 innings, edge of your seat things. And the only reason why I think it's because of how the format was made. So for a tournament like this, where every game counted, I think it was fun to see not only the players invested, right, from all the different nations, but also the fans. I think, and that was the most key important part, where the fans were super highly invested in this tournament. And it just looked pretty cool, and how baseball can be here for the States.
You know what? This World Baseball Classic was great for the game of baseball, as you mentioned, for a lot of reasons that you mentioned. But it really was absolutely amazing because of the format, because of the star power. You had all these teams with all these different major leaguers, and then you started to realize that there's so many other good players that aren't in the United States, like Japan. Japan won it, but there's some players who are playing out there that you're looking like, holy crap, man! Why these guys aren't out here yet? When are they going to come out here? But when they do, it was really intriguing. It was really fun to watch. It just felt different, Eric. It felt different. It felt very different. It felt a lot more lively. You've seen fans from all around the world invested. It was almost like World Cup of soccer. It was almost as big as that. Not as big. It's not, not as popular. Not as popular. No, wait. Let me finish. Not as popular, but as far as like the fan engagement, like how into it the fans were, there was a lot of similarities there because obviously you have your passionate soccer fans. You didn't realize how many people are passionate for baseball until you saw the World Baseball Classic. You're like, wow, this is different from what we see here in the MLB.
That's true. That's true. My favorite team were the Italians, bro. Every time they got a base hit, you just see them celebrate.
Right?
Oh, the mamma
That's what,
mia! Well,
that's,
well, you know.
that's what I'm saying. That's where the passion is. Like it's almost like World Cup of
Exactly.
soccer. You see the passion of the fans you don't normally see.
No, yeah, definitely. And I think that was the best part about it is we got Caesar right here. Big C's! What up, bro? Miss you, homie. He said the WBC was freaking awesome. And I like the first one. He said Arriba la America. And I know which one you're talking about, bro. Woo, woo. And I know which one you're talking about, Big C's, of course. Great, beautiful game that we saw over the weekend between America Chivas. But I digress from that conversation. You'll see more of that in the EAFP podcast tomorrow as I go talk about the sports upcoming weekend and the Nations League going on with that. Speaking of which, yeah, back to the WBC, man. Hey, look, it was fun. It was interesting. It looked interesting. Like I said, I didn't get most of it until last night. Yesterday, I only saw up to the third inning. No, third inning. I'm sorry, seventh inning. I had to go to sleep because of work purposes. But again, it's like once you get players invested in this, right? It becomes a much better game. I think I shared you guys. I'm not sure if I shared it to you guys or I shared it to somebody else. The speech that Shohei Otani gave out before the game, right? He said in order for, and I'm paraphrasing here, right? But what he said in that game was, or in the pregame was, like, yes, we watch these guys, we admire these guys, we look up to these guys, but until we stop looking up to these guys, we won't surpass these guys. So for one day, for one game, let's forget about our admiration for these guys and go out there and beat them at the game. And that's what you want to see in a leader. And for one game, you actually saw, and Japan, give credit, man. This team is this tough. This is the reason why out of the 5 World Baseball Classic series, they won 3. And Japan, they take their baseball series over there too as well. And it was it's fun to see another nation, another country take upon this sport of baseball, which we always say it's America's pastime, right? And I know this is not part of the question, but I'm asking this question anyways. Is it still America's pastime? Is baseball still America's pastime, or is that torch already given up?
I never really understood what pastime meant. Like,
Well, remember this game has been played since like the late 1800s. So give that into perspective.
is it like the one sport that you kill time with? Like, like the go to sport, if like, to kind of like pass the time, if that's what it means. Because I never really understood what that phrase meant, but I feel like it's used because it's the sport that America's oval is. I guess it's like the most lovable sport in America. And that's
It's
just
easy to
not.
get behind.
Yeah, it's just it's. I don't think that's the case anymore. I don't, it's definitely not the popular sport. Football surpassed that many years ago. I think that sport is now the most lovable sport in the United States. But I think it's past. Yeah, Caesar said it perfect. I think it's past time, like PA, like past tense, PAST time. You know what I mean? Like I think it's more of that than it has been. But baseball. The thing about the sport of baseball, it is pretty easy to follow and it's pretty easy to get behind. Like you said, they just need to let the younger crowd take over
Yeah.
in a sense. Like usually when we talk about the younger generation and them coming up, they kind of ruin a lot of things that we, like us old people like. But I think that's the one thing you let them take over for the MLB. Let them celebrate more. Let them taunt. Let them be fun. Let them do backflips. Let them get the fans engaged. Stuff like that will go a long way. You've seen it here in the baseball classic. You
Yeah.
want the fans to be that passionate, but they're not going to be that passionate if there's unwritten rules and all these stupid, don't step on my lawn type opinions from these old baseball players and fans. It's like, come on, man, this is a whole new different generation.
No, and I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, wholeheartedly, 100% too as well. It's one of those. It's one of those. You're right, and it's the unwritten rules. I think that kind of turns everybody off, right? It's like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that for disrespecting the sport or disrespecting the player, or this and that. Every home run, you hit, you got to just put your bat down and just walk around the bases like a true gentleman. And no, it takes out the excitement part out of it, right? The game now they're trying to do their best to they're trying to do their best to fast pace this game, right? And a game that shouldn't even be fast paced, as you can see in the World Baseball Classic, it's regular baseball, and it was still fun to watch. and it wasn't even that long. What, like 3 hours, 2.5 hours?
Well, hold on, Eric. Why you want to know why it was so fun to watch and why? Because
I
these
think
games
every
were a
game
lot.
mattered.
Well, down with that, but these games were a lot more fast paced than we're normally than we
The
normally
normal.
see than we normally see at MLB, and that's because of the
Yeah,
talent pool that was there.
yeah,
You
that's
got
it.
shorter innings, you got bigger bats.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, and that's the difference. You know what I mean, like
yeah,
because every bat mattered. Because look who's at bat. You have all stars on different variety of different teams on the same
100%.
team on
Right.
both sides of the ball.
You have legends, you have all stars, you have almost everything. The only thing that you were kind of missing, and this is leading up to my next question, which is perfect, a great segue to this, is like, should it be mandatory for the players to represent their country, or because there was a lot of players, obviously Kershaw, Dylan Cease, who else am I missing? Name me another pitcher. Like all the top pitchers in the game declined to
Yeah,
volunteer
yeah, yeah. To
or
not
to
go.
come to represent the United States in World Baseball Classic. And I think you saw it yesterday, right? You saw yesterday that, hell, I didn't even know who the hell the pitcher, that starting pitcher, was until I actually looked him up and who he played with and stuff like that. That's the thing. Like that's the kind of thing that would kind of turn you off a little bit, is that you knew 1 through 9 hitting in the hitting order for the United States national team for baseball. But if you're not truly a baseball fan, you don't know who Kelly was on the mound. I know you didn't for damn sure. Because if I didn't know, I know for damn sure you didn't know, bro. Okay.
I know who he was actually. But okay.
Oh my gosh! Shut up. What'd you use? Twitter? You went on Google, right? Because I know I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I went on Google to find out who he is, where he plays at, and all of that. CP, he's in the comments. Yeah, man. Those games felt like World Series games. Each one. I watched that whole game last night. And yeah, it really did. It really did. And I think even the Mexico Japan game from over the weekend, the United States, who they faced? Cuba, I think it was, on Saturday night. That was also, even though it was a blowout, you could kind of tell, even though it was a blowout, it was still kind of passion in between, because these players represent what's in front of the jersey and what's the name across their chest. So that to me was the most exciting part of it all, is just watching them represent their country well and doing their best they can. And again, it was fun. But again, back to the question: should it be mandatory for these players to represent if they get called up, just like how the World Cup, you said? Because if it's like the World Cup sends their best 26 players to the tournament, to the World Cup. Should should they make the WBC kind of a mandatory if you get called up?
Is it that mandatory in soccer? Forgive my ignorance,
It,
but
it, it really, I mean, you get selected. It's not really mandatory, but you get selected. And when you get selected,
you have an
outside
option.
of outside of injury, that's the only way you don't go. And obviously, it's like every 4 years too as well.
So let's say for example I got selected from name insert team, right? Well, it doesn't matter. Let's say I got selected, but I didn't want to go. Do I have that option, or like no, you have to?
It's rare for that to happen
It's rare
inside
because the guys want to
in the
do it,
beautiful game, but you do have that option to decline if you want.
okay, so then I think it should be the same way. I think if obviously the players get selected, and then right then and there, and I don't know, maybe it is that way. I'm not sure, but then right then and there, they're like, okay, you know what, I don't want to do it. And if they don't, then that's on them. Like same goes for the NBA and the when it comes to US USA basketball. Like not every you don't get every single best player on there. It depends on them if they want to represent their country or not. And I think for every player, it's on a bucket list. I think who doesn't want to go and represent their country, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure, you know, depending on schedule. I mean, come on, baseball season is already long enough as it is, and it's you know what? But to be honest, you're playing baseball anyways in spring training. I don't understand why they wouldn't want to go.
Right. And I think and the reason why, and like you said, it's spring training, is like you actually give high intensity at bats instead of spring training, right? Where everybody's kind of half-assed, where everybody's like, all right, let's get into it. Let me get my rhythm back. Let me get. While on the WBC for this type of tournament and for these amount of games, right? Because I mean, next week the baseball season starts, so you really got real live, high intensity action pitches and games to prepare yourself. Now, granted, the rules are going to be different when you come back because of the time, because of the pitch clock and all this and all that. That's fine. That's understandable, but it helps you get along, right?
Yeah.
CP says, I don't think it should be mandatory. The roster was amazing as it has great players. We'll play strictly out of pride. Trout is already on for the 2026 and others will follow. I also got the link up there, guys. If you guys want to join, the link has been dropped right here in the comment section. If you guys want to come on, hop on, give us your take, talk about it, or like how Caesar is too, like CP, he says where your country, your country's where your heart lies. A lot of these guys don't got the heart anymore. It's all about the moolah, which is 100% true. And I know most of these guys, if not all of these guys, make business decision to to make business decision to what's their where the money's coming from, right?
Yeah.
And Caesar is right. It's not hard. It's not like how Kyle Schwarber said, like, hey, I'm playing this because of the troops and then what the troops done. Like that's American pride right there for him. So I'll give you that. But again, if you kind of like you alluded to earlier, Jose, want to make it into a World Cup esque type of feel type of situation, I mean, you have to send your best. You gotta get your best and to represent these type of games. As we bring in our boy CP, rocking that Lakers sweater, having all that confidence in his Lakers, in his LA Lakers, almost playing, almost making it into the playoffs. I believe how close they are to in this recent run that they had. CP, my boy, how you doing, man?
What's up, y'all? What's up, man? I gotta wear it for get them good luck tonight, man. I need them to get in the playoffs.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And they're crucial too. I think they hold what the what was it, the ninth spot, the 10th spot?
No, right now they're 11th,
11th. Okay, cool.
but
Okay, and
I
I did see something like that. Nice.
be
Well,
there.
yeah, they got to get luck. LeBron's still sitting out, but that's one team that you don't want to face if they're all healthy. Is the LA Lakers out of the West, bro? I'm saying that right now.
I don't know
So,
if I like, I don't know if I like this one. Let me go back to
so
yeah.
CP, I know you commented on here earlier too as well. Give us your take, and I know you mentioned it, but why shouldn't it be mandatory for the players to be involved in the World B and the WBC?
Um, like I said, like obviously someone probably just want to stick to spring training and work their way from over there. Um, this is a lot, man. Like some of those players ain't ready for that type of heat. That game last night, man, that was heated. One run game, the whole game, the pitching. Japan is no joke, bro. These other countries are no joke. You can't just go to these games thinking, oh, we got a talented ass team. We're just gonna run over everybody. Like, no. Every one of those games had a playoff atmosphere, and I don't know. Maybe some guys just, they're entering spring training. They're, ramping back up, getting back used to themselves. Yeah, we had some good all stars on the USA team, but not everybody is like ready to jump back into that just like that. And you got to be ready. Like, you don't want to let your country down. You don't want the criticism that's probably going to come with losing like they did last night.
Yep. And
So I get why a handful of players wouldn't go. I mean, I saw a lot for a lot of these players weren't representing these other country like the Dominican Republic. Oh my God, that roster was stacked. I'm shocked they didn't make the final, but I mean, it's gonna be the roster was talented enough as it is, and like I said, you got Trout who's already said he's coming back in 2026. The others are gonna follow, man. I'm not worried about not enough talent wanting to play and represent our country. I mean, we had a pretty good team this year.
yeah, and to go off CP's point, just like the World Cup in soccer, these other countries know they have a shot at winning. It's not just how in basketball, it's USA or bust, right? You got to go through USA or you it ain't gonna happen. But here with baseball, as CP said, these rosters are stacked, man. The Dominican Republic with that stacked ass team, Mexico, nobody thought they were going to be good, but when they were great, like again, it was someone to cheer about. Like you had these other countries who that, and I think that's why it was so great because every single game was good. Every single team, every bat was just must watch. And man, credit to them, man. Credit to baseball. This is exactly what they needed right before the MLB season coming up.
I mean, you guys make excellent points, and I think that whatever way to make, I guess, baseball juice. What up, juice? I hope you're
Juice.
doing well, buddy. Um, I think this is what baseball really needs. It like you said earlier, Jose, to get involved with the youth or the young, to see how exciting it is, to see to see to get that next generation into this sport again. Because honestly, I'll tell you this: it means a lot. And I'm speaking into the World Cup, right? I know we're bringing a lot more soccer into the show than we normally do, simply because of how how well or how close from World Cup to the World Baseball Classic it is. But you miss a World Cup. That's you're missing the opportunity to play the best of the best of the best in this tournament, right? And that's why I say, is it mandatory for the best of the best to be in this tournament, to show their dominance. Now, again, you miss a World Cup like the United States did back in 2018. You might have missed that generation to not join, or to not watch soccer, because you guys know how many people watch this beautiful game of soccer throughout the whole entire world. And a tournament just like this, where a fan like me, who represents, I got my Mexico sweater on today, that even after they get eliminated, I still watch the game because you're heavily involved. And that's another tournament, and that's what baseball really needs. Because let's be honest here, if it was Mexico versus Japan, or if it was Mexico versus Dominican Republic, or anybody outside of the United States, will it have that much traction than it did last night if it was somebody else or another team outside the United States? And that's where I feel now that's the hole that this WBC needs to fill. I don't know what you guys think here. Make sure you guys follow in the comment section, like Juice, like CP, like he did. He was in the comments. He joined us, and also Caesar too, as well, as you guys watching and listening to the JCA Sports Podcast. Here, come on, Juice. Here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You guys make sure you follow the Star Six Media platform on all our social media platforms. Like I said, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and TikTok as well, so you get all our sports content. Let's move on from the WBC, which was very great. It was exciting to watch last night. Let's be honest. Let's give credit where credit's due. It was exciting to watch. But moving on, guys, we are heading for the Bulls. It's not looking good for them right now. I stopped watching after halftime. The score wasn't even fun to watch anymore. Me and my girl, we were laughing at how the Bulls were down 19-1. But before today's game, the Bulls have been 9-4 since acquiring Pat Beverly. Jose, you're Mr. Positive here. You're Mr. Bull here. You're the most optimistic out of all of us here, Jose.
See red Ted.
Does this run that the Bulls have with Pat Bev in this team, does it give you some type of hope outside of today, because today's not looking great, but gives you hope that the Bulls can or somehow make it into the playoffs?
I mean, 9-4 is pretty good. 9-4 is pretty consistent. You're not going to win every single game, but that's a good winning record right there. I'll take 9-4 all day long, and that's with Beverly in the lineup, which is like 1 or 2 games after the All-Star break, so it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I think he definitely makes this team better, but I would, but it's not so much talent wise. It's just mindset, and that's what's been this team's issue, is the fact that they can't get out of their own asses. You know what I mean? And like, you bring someone who's gonna come in and tell them how it is, someone who's gonna be tough on them, someone who's gonna definitely bring toughness for them, because a lot of them are soft. And to be honest, it's like, okay, good. This is what you need. If you guys are not gonna listen to the coach, you're gonna listen to me, because I have experience here. I know what it takes. But at the same time, we all know, we all see this team. We all know what this team is. They're not going to win a championship, not the way it's constructed. Obviously, we would rather go out on a high note, and at least be respectable. And I feel like they have been as of late. Right now, they're losing to the Philadelphia 76ers, but again, they're going to lose games. They're not going to win every single one. It's just how you lose them and what you're doing right now. They're missing shots. They're not playing smart basketball. They're missing shots. Zach LaVine's your leading scorer, and he only has 14. You know what I mean? It's they're struggling right now. But yeah, I guess my positive note is just the fact that this team is better with Patrick Beverly. But that's it. That's it. There's nothing else to say after that. There's better than Patrick Beverly, but it's still the same old, same old. You're going to lose in the playoffs if you make it, and that's it. It's all she wrote.
It's funny that you mentioned that the Bulls have a little bit of softness into them, and they don't have that much that competitive edge, right? And CPU tagged me earlier on a video of the game between I think it was the Pistons where Vooch was just in La La Land looking somewhere else, and I forgot who it was had a wide open lane. Yep, coming into the lane, bro. And that's one thing that the Chicago Bulls have been throughout the whole entire year. You can't coach this team very late to play defense the way that Beverly wanted, right? And I get it. They're all professional players. But again, does the acquisition of Pat Bev give you hope that the Bulls will have a better, I guess, playoff run than what we originally thought when they first got him?
I think this is more. Jose is starting to look more and more right by the day about what he said about Billy Donovan. He's not a bad coach at all, you know. But if you got a team full of laid back players like that, yeah, that's probably going to work to Billy Donovan. But like, you need a coach that's going for these Bulls. You need a strong personality minded coach, like to tell them like we saw it. Like he let, I think it was James. I think it was Wiseman, right?
Yeah,
That Vooch let slip for that dunk, and he was just like, and when Pat Bev tried to call him out on it, like
Yeah,
he felt,
man.
he got so offended, like he was entitled or something. Like,
Right.
you're gonna step to me? I'm an all-star. I average a double double. Like, you're obviously Pat Bev is nowhere near Nicola's like league, but at the same time, like he's respected in the league, bro. He's been in the league for years. He knows how this goes. And the fact that Vooch reacted that way instead of just saying, "Oh, my bad," I'll be there next time. You right. He's complaining like he's entitled, and that's the problem here. This is why I wanted to trade Vooch before the deadline, because we talked about this already. It's shown in his body language, bro. He clearly does not want to be here. He's just there to just get his paycheck, play as best as he can, and get up out of there. And like the fact that we kept him past the deadline and we're gonna lose him for nothing, because like after what I've seen from him this year, I don't care if he leaves. I just wanted to get like something for him, you know? And like the Bulls, yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs, but only because how bad Indiana and Washington is. That's the only reason they're gonna get in. They're But I don't see them going past Toronto for the ninth seed. And if we got to play in Toronto for that play in, I don't like our chances there. We could probably pull the upset, but can we beat Miami or Atlanta for the 7-8 seed? Who knows? Like, going to road games is tough, but we have the talent. We just don't have the discipline, and that's been our issue all year.
yeah. And then we got an update right now that DeMar DeRozan is out for the remainder of the game against the 76ers with a
Look,
right quad strain.
come on, man.
So, I mean, in a game like this where you're getting blown out by 20, it was
Yeah,
96-76 heading into the third quarter. Um, it is what it is, right? And Jose's right. You're not going to win every basketball game, right? It's 82 of these games. You're going to get blown out in one of these games eventually, right? But after last night's performance of actually beating the 76ers and actually beating Joel Embiid for the first time, that's what sparked me this question. They've been playing decent basketball since the arrival of Pat Beverly. Does it change my perspective of how I see the Chicago Bulls for the rest of the season? No, not really. Because now it's a little bit too late that they're doing this, that they're making this run. It's fun. It's fine. It's great. They're making the playoffs, or they're making at least into this playing game. But like Jose mentioned, what else after that, right? And if that's where we're going to be, if that's the position that we're going to be right now, like, okay, let's make the playoffs, but we know we're not gonna make a pretty legitimate run, and we're probably might get knocked out in the first round with this squad that was supposed to be better than last year, and it was the same squad that made the same playoffs minus Lonzo Ball. What was the whole point of keeping him? You're keeping these players. I get it. Vooch should have been gone. I agree with you right there, CP. Vooch should have been gone. And Juice is on here too as well. He said you need to start Draymond over Vooch. He
Drummond.
said, thank you. Vooch is soft like double Larry Sharman, double layer Sharman, right? That's what he is. And Kyle, what's up, buddy? He said he called it. He told Rick, do not sleep on the Bulls to make the playing game and get eliminated in the first game. That's if that's what you want to call it, don't sleep on the Bulls, then okay, Kyle, that's all on you, homie. I get it, but at least they made an attempt to get there, right? But again, you lose your positioning in trying to make, I've always
Eric,
I was a big believer in, just call it is, just It is. Wash this season off. Try to get the number 4 pick. Get your pick in your first round because you're not going to get it after all, anyways. Because it's going to go straight to Orlando because of Vucevic, by the way, with the trade. So it's kind of like the Vooch is really giving us a double whammy. I'm not playing this tough. I'm not resigning, and I'm making you guys lose your pick for the first round this upcoming offseason. So, all right, cool. I'll give credit where credit's due. Everybody's game has been stepped up from the moment Pat Bev has walked in this court, right? I've always said, hey, bad, they lost. That's a good win. That's a good loss. They won. That's a bad win, right? I'm at the point that I'm stop saying that because they had legitimately shown that they have been performing very well. But again, where's it going to take you?
Well, here's the thing, though. The thing is, yes, we all realistically know they're not going to win a championship. We all realistically know that even if they do win a playing game, right now it's looking like they'll play either Miami or Atlanta. I think those are winnable games. And even though we do make it to the actual playoff, we will probably more than likely get bounced off the first round. But, and this is a big but, this is regardless of the fact, we're on to next year from what it seems like. If Vooch is going to be gone, he's gone. It sucks because, like TP said, we're losing him for nothing now. But at the same time, you still have guys like DeRozan for one more year. You still have Levine with his big contract. And and these guys are starting to play better. So if we could carry this on to next season, and hopefully AK can work something out with some other free agents that can come in and help, or some trades, whatever you need to do, right? That's his job. Similar to Ryan Poles and with the Bears, right? We have a shitty team with the Bears last season. What's Ryan Poles' job? With what he has, he needs to make it better. And it seems like he's been doing it so far. AK and Eversley has to do the same thing for the Chicago Bulls. And you have those core guys in DeRozan and Levine that you could build around. You know Lonzo's not coming back next season. He's already out for next season, guys. We know he's not coming back.
Which is so stupid.
Right. So you now bring in a point guard, an established one, whoever it is, that's going to help you move forward. You get rid of Vooch, all right, then you get a power forward that's going to come in and help, or a center, regardless. And then you start to realize, and then you start to figure out what are you going to do with guys like Patrick Williams, who isn't giving you anything right now. Guys like Cody White, who isn't really doing much for you. Are you going to resign Caruso or not? Right, but regardless of the fact, you start to retool, and maybe you're able to build something better. Maybe this Bulls teams, whether they lose or win the first round playoff or not, maybe they could at least excite somebody to come over here, get somebody to come play in Chicago. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. You don't if they were to continue to play the way they were before the All-Star break, no way in hell nobody wants to come here. And this dumpster fire, no. But now you start to see, hey, with the right mentality, maybe with a different coach.
But even then, but even then, I think the more excitement, I guess you can say, that the Bulls can bring in, whether if it's free agents or something like that. I honestly do believe that the Bulls need to get out of the first round in this dumpster fire to be like, oh, this Bulls team, they have a little something.
Or make it competitive. Last season we only won a game and we got basically steamrolled against the Bucks. But if you make it competitive and make it to a 6-7 game series, then and even if you lose, you still look formidable for whoever wants to come.
And that's where I think the Bulls really need to be in order to bring in that free agent acquisition. Because I was looking at and I'm looking at them right now, like who's going to be free agents next year, and it doesn't. Nothing entices me to where can the Bulls get fixed?
Name them. Who are they?
All right. Ah, shoot. I went the wrong one. Ding. NBA free agents. Here we go. NBA 2023. I hit the playoffs. Sorry. But hold on.
While you're searching that, right? Regardless of the fact, there's going to be free agent, but you could also do a lot with the trade. Maybe you trade someone like DeRozan. Maybe you trade someone like Levine. Maybe you trade someone like Caruso, who is going to add value to a team that's contending.
All right, I got it.
Go ahead.
All right, so the free agent next year, unrestricted free agent, obviously is Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, D'Angelo Russell, Vucevic is up there too as well, Harrison Barnes, Karis LeVert. Let me go down because I'm this guy. Will Barton, Christian Wood, Terrence Ross, Josh Richardson. And these are only the players that are unrestricted. Everybody else has a player option or a club player option. And the names are not even that great either.
Yeah, none of those
I mean,
guys move the needle.
None of them move the needle,
exactly.
but
And there's nobody on here. I mean, I don't see anybody. I mean, maybe a Jacob Patel. Maybe they might do something, but I feel like that's another Vucevic on the defensive side of the ball.
You said who?
Jacob Patel. He's unrestricted free agent next year.
It's pronounced Jakob.
Jacob, whatever.
Jakob.
Jacob Patel, same thing. You know who I'm talking about. He's probably
I,
the only one of the centers up there. Um, and Vooch. Probably those are the only two centers that are out there outside of Christian Wood, who's a power forward, that are the only unrestricted free agents for next year that doesn't have a player option or a club option for next year.
Christian Wood don't play defense.
And it's like we're getting these same guys over and
because
over and over and over
guys,
again.
but that's what you have in the league now. That's kind of the way the league is going with in those type of players in that type of position. That's why I would rather re-sign Vooch. Do whatever you can to re-sign him. Now, if Vooch is like, hell no, I don't want to play with this team. Well, hold on, Vooch. Let's bring in a new coach. Let's bring in a new system. Let's bring in some maybe other players who will help this team. I don't think we're going to see Patrick Beverly again next season. I think after this season, he's going to go somewhere else. I don't blame him.
Look,
Um,
Jose, I know you said the league is going in that direction, but look at the past few champions, man. The Warriors were second in defense last year. The year before that, the Bucks was number one. Like the Lakers was number one when they won. The past three champions have played defense, bro. I know you think it's all about offense now, but we look.
No. I'm not saying that defense is not. Let me take this comment off real quick. I'm not saying that defense isn't important. I'm just saying the way these players are starting to come up, that's just kind of their mentality. It's more let me score, and not worry about defense. And as an executive and as a GM, you kind of have to deal with it because if you can't get any of those defensive minded players, you have to fill the roster. And if you're going to pick between middle of the road guys or great scorers, you're going to go with great scorers, and it hurts. It does hurt the team, and I'm not trying to justify it. I'm more on your side where you would rather have someone defensive minded, but those guys are starting to become more and more rare because of the way this league is going.
Kyle goes on where he had the comment up earlier. He said, think of the Phoenix Suns during COVID. They went undefeated in the bubble. They came out of nowhere. Even though they didn't make a deep playoff run, they showed out in 2021 and made it into the finals. End of the season momentum is a powerful thing.
Isn't that a deep playoff run?
It is. And this is what the Bulls don't have. They don't have the momentum, nor they'll have that power to go into that deep playoff run. Right? They're gonna play against either the Celtics
Probably
or
not.
the Milwaukee Bucks, or the same team that's playing them against right now and them being blown out by like 20 some odd points in the Philadelphia 76ers. And I get it. Last year, the Bulls struggled against these high-powered teams, right? They struggled against the playoff contending teams. They had one of the worst records against these playoff contending teams. This year is flipped. So if that's some type of momentum, cool. But where is that gonna get you anyways? It's not gonna get you out of the first round. It might win you an extra game or two in the playoffs, which is a step up from last year. But you're still gonna be in the same position where you're gonna lose Vucevic, and there's nobody else to replace him. There's nobody else coming into this team.
And you don't have Lonzo Ball.
And you don't have Lonzo Ball, which is again stupid that you're already claiming him out for the rest of the next season when you really don't know if that's really true or not.
Is his contract up after next season?
That's a good question. I want to say he has one more year after next.
They all signed either 4 or 5 year deals. It wasn't they weren't long deals, and it's crazy how we're already coming up to it already.
Right,
it's up at 4 or 5.
It's one thing I've learned is that we can't like judge off. Yeah, the Bulls just beat the Sixers the other night, and they won a few games like over good teams this year. But it's one thing I've learned since that whole, when LeBron went to Miami for the first time, Bulls like kicked their ass in every game of the season, and then the playoffs hit and they embarrassed us. Like I've learned my lesson not to judge off that. We struggle against a Giannis only led Milwaukee team in the playoffs last year. Milwaukee's healthy now, and they are playing lights out. If we somehow do make it into that 8 seed, Milwaukee is looking more like they're probably going to be the 1 seed. If we got to face them in the first round again, come on, man. That's just going to be a complete embarrassment.
That's not going to be fair.
Milwaukee team, Holiday, Middleton, Giannis. Now you add Crowder to that. You got Portis. It's just gonna be a massacre, and I don't want to watch Chicago go down like that. That's why I was with you, Eric, with the whole tanking thing. I really wanted to see them lose a few games after the break. Like I know Chicago people look at me crazy when I say that, but like you got to think about your future, man. Like I don't like seeing Chicago get embarrassed like we're seeing them. What's happening to them tonight? What's happening to them tonight is probably what's going to happen if they somehow jump into that A seed in April.
Yeah, definitely. And even though the playing game is great, it gives him an extra game. And Kyle said, yeah, he doesn't know diddly squat about basketball until the playoffs start, which is all right.
No,
It's all
like,
good.
that's how we feel about hockey sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's definitely how I feel. And hell, sometimes I think I'm going on. See, I think I'm going like 5-6 years that hockey hasn't even started for me, bro. So then there you go. So
We love Jack though. We love
yeah,
his
we love Jack. And make sure you guys see Slash Shot,
Yeah.
on the Spotify and on here for StreamYard and on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch for under the Star Six Media Productions. But yeah, man, and you're right. You have to see the future, and I know last year we were, I think we were at your house last year, Jose, when we watched the Bulls only win in the playoffs against the Milwaukee Bucks.
I think so.
I think, and you guys celebrated like it was like deep run and whatnot. But I'm just like,
Game two.
I saw what the Bulls were heading into the playoffs. And it just didn't strike no type of excitement whatsoever. And the way how I
they had
ended
their
the
worst.
season,
Oh, it
They had,
was.
they had their worst stretch going into the playoffs. So we were only excited because it was a win nobody thought was going to happen. Like going into the playoffs, they were stumbling, dude. They were bad.
I called a sweep.
We all knew for what it was. That season was over before it even started. That postseason, I mean,
Well, the season ended.
The postseason was over before it started.
Before it even started, yeah.
We all realistically knew, but a win still got us excited because it wasn't expected.
I mean,
I don't know. I think that Milwaukee series goes a few extra games if Lonzo plays in that game. They
I'm a wholehearted believer that if the Bulls were healthy last year, I could have seen a run to the Eastern Conference Finals.
definitely.
That team was scary defensively. They knew how to lock down, especially in the backcourt. They knew how to lock you down. They took smart shots. They were the number one team in the East for a reason. On why with Lonzo Ball they're running the floor. I honestly, and I will say this, that I think the Bulls would have made a case to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year if they were healthy.
I think so too.
And that's the crazy thing, how one player, and it's no big player either. It's not a superstar. It's not nobody.
No, one player, but for the Bulls, it's a point guard. It's a point guard again.
It was everything. It was like
Again.
we just lost our Giannis. And I know I'm comparing Lonzo to Giannis, but
No,
that's what it felt like. But
Jared,
listen what I'm about to say. But it felt like that's what it felt like. Like we lost our most important player. Like if Milwaukee would have lost Giannis, that's how almost impactful it was. That Lonzo's Ball injury literally impacted the rest of the whole entire season.
I mean, yeah, he was important. He was as important. We didn't believe it, but yeah, he was. But then again,
He's our best defender by far.
yeah,
It was by miles, country miles.
But we have, John says it every time we're on the show. We have a point guard curse, and I'm starting to believe it.
Oh, wait,
The fact that we cannot next year, he's already out. They're already declaring him out for next year. So this is another year of the same BS. The curse. It's a curse. It is a curse.
Question: when did this point guard curse started? Did it started with Derrick Rose or did it started with Jay Williams?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a TikTok. Ooh, that's a social media question. I got you guys stumbling. But for real, where did it start? Did it start with Derrick Rose or did it start with Jay Williams?
I gotta say Rose.
I gotta say Rose, because Rose realistically was that guy. He was an MVP. I watch highlights sometimes of Derrick Rose. I don't look for highlights of Jay Williams. No offense to Jay Williams. But come on, you know what I mean? It's how you know. That's how you know Derrick Rose was that guy.
I mean, even after Jay Will, I guess they found another reliable point guard in Kirk Heinrich. Even though it wasn't a sexy point guard name whatsoever in Captain Kirk, but he led the Bulls, or he leads the Bulls, or he's right there up with the Bulls with Michael Jordan and one of the best Bulls of all time in Captain Kirk.
Oh yeah, he was a solid guy, solid player.
He was definitely solid. So we're going on from D Rose on, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, true. Because didn't Nate Robinson also tear his ACL when he was a point guard here with the Bulls too?
I mean, we've had good backups. That's never been the issue, but we
John
never had a
Stockton,
solidified great
Nate Robinson,
point guard that was supposed to lead us. That was supposed to help us. The point guard position
Sean
is
Lucas
important.
Yeah, considering Rose is probably our best point guard in franchise history, that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juice agrees with you guys. Rose for sure. The fields, man. The
field.
fields.
It's so sad.
Yeah, the JCA Sports Podcast here live on you guys from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms. Same platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram.
This is a good opportunity, Eric, to let the people know what other shows are on our platform.
Exactly, just like this show, Only Football, where you guys can see Kyle and Rick talk about nothing but football. Here's a little promo from them.
What's up, everybody? It's Kyle.
And I'm Rick, and welcome to Only Football, where we talk about everything going on in the NFL. You can catch our live streams on Mondays for trivia and Q&A, Thursdays for news around the league, as well as episodes of Only Football with Kyle that you can catch on Instagram and YouTube every Wednesday.
Follow us to keep up with the latest football news, trades, off-season rumors, and our favorite conspiracies here on Only Football. See ya!
See ya!
You'll definitely see those guys.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the main event. Accident. My bad.
I'm like, what the hell? Where did that come out? Yeah, make sure you guys can see. You guys can see the Contreras brothers too every Tuesday on the main event too as well. Those are the other two, along with my soccer show, the AFP podcast that's on Thursdays, as well as Slash Shots, 3 Up, 3 Down, and all our wonderful shows under the Star 6 Media production, which is a perfect segue getting Only Football as we're segueing into football.
Yep.
And apparently, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, there is a quarterback that is not on the team saying that he's better than the 32 quarterbacks that are currently in the league right now. That's Jose's boy, Cam Newton. Cam Newton said who's throwing at Alabama's pro day to show that he still got it.
Auburn, don't disrespect him.
He has a little
don't disrespect him. Auburn. That's a rival. That's a rival Alabama. He said Alabama. They don't like each other. Oh my God. They don't like each other. Don't do that to him. Auburn, man.
Wow.
Auburn.
Who am I? I feel like Jose now. Jeez.
Oh my
God. I did say Alabama. Well, he's in Auburn, right? He's at Auburn's pro day throwing, and he said he's better than...
Is it Auburn in Alabama? Isn't there another school in that same
Yeah.
That's literally
it's still there. It's still there. But he went to the pro day, guys. To show the NFL scouts that he has whatever he has left in the tank. But the real question is, how many quarterbacks can you name before you get to Cam Newton and the current NFL quarterback stature?
So he says 32.
He says all 32.
He says all 32. I think he has a case and maybe one or two, maybe.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's only because those teams don't have quarterbacks, but they're slated to pick up quarterbacks this draft. I'm looking at Carolina's lineup. Like, I think they have Andy Dalton now, right? Is he better than Andy Dalton? I don't know. Maybe not.
He's better than Zach Wilson, though.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend Paulina were just talking about this. Like, is he better than Zach Wilson? She's saying no. She thinks Zach Wilson's better. I mean, if you think about it, he went against Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and couldn't beat them. You know what I mean? He was on the same team as those two guys, and those two guys aren't starting for any team this upcoming season. So if you can't beat them, what makes you think you're going to go against?
I think Baker starts for Tampa.
Oh yeah. Baker's going to Tampa by default. But let's be honest, that's because they have nobody over there either. They slip pickings right now with quarterback. They don't have a high draft pick in Tampa Bay. They just lost Tom Brady. So it's like
good point.
Okay, so I'm looking at every NFL starting quarterback, right? Obviously, we could get rid of one. They're going to know two. Definitely not 3, 4, 5.
Let's go through them. Let's go. Let's go down the list. Each division. You say yes or no. Yes or no. I mean, obviously, there's obvious ones, but we're going to get them out the way.
All right, let's go to the super obvious, right? The number one quarterback, Patrick Mahomes.
No,
of course not.
All right, great that we agree. Jalen Hurts.
No.
Joe Cool, Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty.
No,
absolutely not.
Josh Allen.
No.
Of course.
Jose's boy, Justin Herbert.
Hell no.
Jose's second boy, and Trevor Lawrence.
Negative.
My second boy is Joe Burrow. First off, okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Then it
His
goes Trevor
third boy.
Lawrence.
Yeah, Trevor. My boy, Tua Tagovailoa.
No.
That's not your boy. You don't like Tua Tagovailoa.
I said that very sarcastically if you didn't catch
Okay.
on, but
Yeah,
whatever.
but no, still no.
But they-
All right, Jared Goff. Is he better than Jared Goff?
no.
No.
Is he better? This is the number 9 ranked quarterback, right? Number 9 quarterback that ended the season, and Geno Smith.
No.
No.
John's boy, Dak Prescott.
No.
No.
It's not his boy either, but okay.
John's
Dark-
other boy, Tom Brady.
No.
Nope.
All right, Lamar Jackson. He's number 12.
Of course
No.
not, Lamar Jackson.
All right. Our boy, Justin Fields.
They're hold on. They are disrespecting Lamar Jackson right now. The fact that
I agree with you on that part.
he's being disrespected.
Yeah.
The fact that Tom Brady's ahead of him, Dak Prescott's ahead of him. No disrespect to Geno, but the fact that Geno's ahead of him and Jared Goff, okay, I'll give you that. But again, this is
going based off
on
stats. Yeah, they're going based
this
off
is
last
based
year's
on the
stats.
stats from last
Yeah.
season.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But we
Justin
know
Fields
damn
at
well
13?
we know Jackson's better than all those guys you mentioned already.
For sure. Aaron Rodgers at 4. Wow, they actually rank Justin Fields one more ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Huh, crazy.
Well, you look at productivity and the team.
I get it. Rushing yards.
think-
I get that.
You know, you take Fields off the team, and he has a bigger impact than Aaron Rodgers did last season, I believe.
For
Right,
sure.
Without Fields.
All right, Aaron Rodgers. Is he better than Aaron Rodgers?
No.
No, of course
Okay.
not.
Here's a little tough one. All right, let's think about it. Take a step back and actually think about this one. Number 15, Brock Purdy. Is he better than Brock Purdy?
No, of
No.
course. From what we seen last year, no. We only have that sample size.
In 9 games?
Both sides was amazing.
Yeah. Now look,
Okay.
real quick before you move on. If Cam Newton comes back to the old Cam Newton, to his prime years, then 100% he's top 10 quarterback, if not top 5. That man was a dog.
I agree
not-
with you on that one.
Do
That's
not
a good
forget
one.
how
That's a good
big,
take.
how strong, how agile, his throwing mechanics, everything was top tier when it comes to Cam Newton. Remember, he took the Panthers to a Super Bowl.
He did. He
Let's not
lost
forget. Let's not forget how great Cam Newton was. If he can somehow, some way get back to that, then 100% I believe him. But we're naming the obvious here. He's not better than these guys that you mentioned.
Is he better than Kyle Murray at 16?
No, not right now. No,
Can this one be a debate? Is he better than Kirk Cousins?
No.
nope. I'll take Kirk Cousins right now over Cam Newton.
Without
Dang, you
question.
guys said that simultaneously. Oh, all right, Daniel Jones. Does it get interesting now? Is he better than Daniel Jones?
Nope.
No,
Okay, all right. I expected hopefully a little
not
bit. Of
Daniel
disagreement.
Jones in this system. The system seems to work with him, man.
Okay, I know I'm gonna get something out of you guys out of this one. Ryan Tannehill. Is Cam Newton better than Ryan Tannehill?
No,
CP?
I would take
Tannehill-
Tannehill.
I'll give you Tannehill, but not by that much, to be honest.
Wait, you think Tannehill's better, right?
No.
Yeah.
I think I'm saying Tannehill is better, but not by much.
So it's close. It's like a 55-45 with you.
Juice says he's way better than Kirk. Come on, Juice. Come on, man.
Hey, Juice is a Viking, bro. He knows.
Well, right, but I feel like it's because he's mad at Kirk Cousins. I feel like it's more he has some right
Right.
against him because his team's not doing well. I think that's where it's coming from. But come on, Welch,
Talk about
Andre,
he lost
dude,
the number 2 seed, losing to like almost the last place team to make it into the playoffs on a home game at that, right? All right, let's get interesting now. Is he better than Kenny
Hold
Pickett?
on, real quick. Kyle says he ain't coming back to who he was. Bob Miller single-handedly ruined that man's career the moment he didn't die for that strip sack in Super Bowl 50.
I think if he would have dove for that ball, I think Cam Newton would have came out with like multiple concussions, man. You seen how crazy that dive was, bro? Like, oh. But I agree though. It's the Super Bowl. It's the last game of the season.
Yeah.
You're in the championship game. You go out.
You have to. You have to.
You have to. But I get it. He made a business decision that kind of started his downfall in his NFL career with that one.
Juice
All right, Kenny Pickett. Is he better than Kenny Pickett?
No. I would take Kenny Pickett over Cam Newton right now. Right now, I would. After well, you know what? Hold on. This is actually where it gets interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Based off what I seen last year with the Steelers, I would take Pickett over Cam Newton. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't disagree with that. CP.
definitely Kenny Pickett. He definitely showed some stuff last year.
All right, you guys are 20 for 20 on agreeing. I was hoping somewhere of a little by now some type of disagreement here.
Did we literally go 20 quarterbacks in already?
20 quarterbacks already. Yep.
Yeah.
Here goes another one that may or may not. I hope this one starts it off right. Derek Carr. Is Cam Newton better
Derek
than
Carr
Derek
is.
Carr?
I would take Derek Carr.
Carr.
I like Derek Carr too. I just think he was in the wrong system, in the wrong because he played well the year before under the interim head coach. And then here comes Michael McDaniels, who we all know hasn't had success as a head coach at any team he's been with. And I honestly think it was Mike McDaniel's system. Other than it's not Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr's going to flourish this year with the Saints, 100%.
I agree. I think McDaniels went and ruined the Las Vegas Raiders and ruined them. That was a playoff team the year before with an interim head coach.
He's going to go back. He's going to go back to New England as an offensive coordinator next year.
I mean, I agree with you on that one. But yep. All right. Here we go. Maybe you guys can come in agreement. Maybe there's some disagreement here. Is he better than Andy Dalton?
I like Andy Dalton.
But
he actually played okay toward the end of the year.
Andy Dalton is that one backup quarterback you can rely on. I don't know if I can say the same thing about Cam Newton. So I'm going to go Andy Dalton.
Here's his stats, right? In 14 games, he was a 66.7 completion percentage with 2,871 passing yards. He threw for 7.6 yards per attempt, 18 touchdown passes, 19 interception. He ran for 54 yards, but he did lose 5 fumbles.
The Red Rocket, baby. No, you know what? I'll tell you what. If I had to choose for a backup, I think I would go Andy Dalton. Between the two, I would choose Andy Dalton. As a backup quarterback, I'm going Dalton.
CP, can you guys make it? Can you make it 22 for 22?
Yeah, I'm going with Andy Dalton too.
There you go. Let's go, CP.
All right, this one again.
Was afloat last year, bro. I know.
I got you. Okay. All right, here's another one that it's again. This is based off of stats from last year, but we know where we're gonna go with this one.
Real quick before you go, Kyle comment to this. Read his comment. It gets harder and harder as the quarterbacks get worse, but you can't be a victim of history. It's easy to get nostalgic about who Cam was and when he was a dog. I think it's harder to let go because we had no closure to his career ended so abrupt. And I agree, but that's why. But my decisions are going based off what I've seen Cam recently. It has nothing to do with his prime years. I know in his prime years he's top 10, but recently,
his last few games when he left, he was playing bad, man. It was bad.
That's what I'm saying. If you can't beat Sam Darnold, come on. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't want him in New York. They didn't want him in Carolina. He's gone now. Like, come on. Like, what do you do there? You can't beat him. Then we keep going, Eric. Come on. I'm pretty sure we're going to continue to vote against him. I think it's like the last two we'll probably get to. It gets interesting.
As my charger gets all tangled with my headphones over here. But at 23, again, this one's based off last year's performance, but we know where the answer is going to be. Matthew Stafford. Is he better than Matthew Stafford?
Of course not.
Of course not.
I figured that was quick. That was a quick one. Is he better than Sam Darnold at 24?
He proved that he's not.
He lost to him.
He wasn't. So no.
Marcus Mariota comes in at number 25 from last year's stats.
I applaud Marcus Mariota for what he did with the Falcons last season. I think he is a very underrated quarterback. I'm going to say no.
CP, can you make it 25 for 25?
No.
Still Marcus Mariota.
Yes.
All right. Another person that Cam Newton couldn't beat out is Mac Jones. Is Cam Newton better than Mac Jones?
I would take Mac Jones in a heartbeat.
Didn't Mac Jones take his job in New England?
Yeah, he did.
100%.
There you go.
But I think Cam Newton came off with that one. Cam Newton in New England, he was doing okay up until he got hurt. And then I guess the inclusion of bringing in Mac Jones to play, and I think, all right, let's turn the page to the future. But Cam Newton in New England wasn't that bad. I mean, they were flirting with 500. It wasn't their best year, but it wasn't that bad. Cam Newton never had a fair shake in New England the way he did because they were honestly looking on to the future, and he was that bridge quarterback.
Mac Jones had a good year that year.
He did. He did.
You didn't start seeing problems for Mac Jones until this past year. But
with Mac
he's
Jones.
still, yeah, but I'll still take Mac Jones.
But the thing is, like, when we look at last time Cam started, bro, like in 8 games, he threw 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in 8 games.
In
Oh,
8
I know.
games.
It wasn't that bad, but he didn't look that completely bad.
That sounds bad to me, man.
It,
You can't score. You can't
I
throw
get you.
in the game,
can't throw a touchdown to save your life.
right?
No, I get you. I understand. I hear you guys loud and clear. I know where you guys are coming from with this one. All right, let's do this real quick. All right, I know we're almost up against the clock here, but Russell Wilson, is he better than Russell Wilson?
No.
No, even with the bad year.
Russell Wilson will have a comeback year with the.
You hear it right now here on the JCA Sports Podcast. Jose said Russell Wilson will be the MVP for the Broncos next year.
I don't know about MVP, but
Deshaun is he better than Deshaun Watson?
No, of course not.
No.
All right, here we go. This is where it gets interesting now. I think we're gonna get. I think we're finally here. Taylor Heineke, is he better than Taylor Heineke?
No, I like Taylor Heineke.
No.
Taylor Heineke did his thing last season.
This is where it gets interesting. I just want to see how far you guys go. Number 30. Here we're down to the last 3 worst quarterbacks.
Last 2. Last 3.
Matt Ryan, is he better than Matt Ryan?
Oh.
I might if you gave me Matt Ryan and Cam Newton, if those are my only 2 options in front of me, I think I might go with Cam Newton. Matt Ryan looked bad. He looked bad.
He looked like he lost his cannon.
That's what I'm saying. I think you get a little bit more versatile with Cam, even now.
I'm sorry, bro. If it come down to those 2, we ain't no quarterbacks. We running Wildcat whole game.
You know what? We're running the Wildcat.
Okay.
But between the 2, though, CP, right? I think that you take Cam. I think you have to.
I don't know, because one can run, and I guess Matt Ryan was technically still a little bit better of a passer than Cam, but oh my God, I guess I gotta take Cam, but you
have to
more than 4 passes, bro.
You said it. One can run. If both can't really throw, but if you got to use somebody for something,
at least Cam can run.
Yeah.
Few options for me, but Matt Ryan, he was awful. It's time to call it a career.
Yeah, it sucks, but yeah, Kyle agrees. I think you can do more with Cam, at least if they both suck at passing. You can use Cam as a weapon. That's exactly what I said. Exactly. I think we finally found something he's better at.
All right, we might find 2. You ready for the next one? Davis Mills, is he better than Davis Mills?
Oh, hold on, real quick.
Wait,
real quick. All right, wait. The Colts are not going with Matt Ryan this season, nor are the Texans with David Mills. Both guys, right? Both teams are going to go with rookie quarterbacks probably this season. Maybe Mills becomes a bridge, from the next quarterback, whoever they draft. But if we're going to go with those teams, I think we go based off the 3 quarterbacks that are coming out. We know for sure going in the first round.
All right, so is Cam Newton better than Bryce Young?
I would take Bryce Young.
I'm taking Anthony Richardson. I'm taking Will Levis.
Yes.
CJ Stroud.
Yes, I'm taking CJ Stroud. I guess there's no 30. I'm sorry, Cam, but you're wrong. There's 32 guys better than you right now.
Right now on the JCA Sports Podcast, we named 36 different quarterbacks that are better than Cam Newton.
36.
And we didn't even. I mean, Davis Mills. I mean, I'm assuming he's 1, right? You guys are taking Cam over Davis.
Well, no, I agree with Welch. Davis Mills did his thing. I mean, let's not forget, if it wasn't for Davis Mills, the Bears wouldn't have DJ Moore today. Okay? Lovey and Davis Mills, thank you. Right? Well, they did their thing.
I don't know, man. 15 games, 61% in completions, 3,118 yards passing. Man. That's 6.5 yards a game per attempt. 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. And 2 rushing touchdowns with 8 fumbles.
Yeah, compared to 684 yards from Cam.
Yeah, right. And then the last but not least, the very worst quarterback in this whole entire NFL is Cam Newton better than Zach Wilson?
Well, Zach, I think that doesn't mean anything because Zach Wilson's not going to start. Remember, the whole point of this argument or this discussion He said there's not 32 quarterbacks better than him. So we have to go based off the 32 quarterbacks that are going to start next season. I would probably take Zach Wilson over Cam Newton, to be honest.
I'm still taking Zach Wilson too. Know why? Only 23, and I can still work with him.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's my point exactly.
We are going to end the show with this question, and this question only.
Oh my God.
The JCA Sports Podcast. We thank you guys for watching, for tuning in. CP, Juice,
I'll get
Caesar.
Go ahead.
Everybody that commented, guys, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Caesar. Thank you,
Caesar. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone that hopped on. CP, as always, thank you, man. We definitely appreciate you every time you hop on, bro. Like I said, make sure you guys hit the little bell on all our platforms, on Facebook, on Star 6 Media, and on the JCA Sports Podcast, or I'm sorry, John Konavi Facebook page, just to get notified when our shows are live. Here's the final question. We're ending the night. Who are you picking, Jordan Love or Cam Newton?
Jordan Love.
And there you go. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. There is 37 quarterbacks better than Cam Newton. For myself, Eric Avila, Jose Contreras, CP, thank you. Jonathan, we'll see you next week, guys. We appreciate you guys. Jose, hit that outro. See you guys.
What a finish. Wow, that is unfreaking believable. What a way for a ball game to end.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's terrible. My God. The humanity.
They may be the drunkest couple in the history of sporting events.
I loved his face.
I would suspect that fan is done for the night. Here's the thing. When you steal something, don't wear it.